was in PE class, and an announcement came on the school and said that there was a bomb somewhere and we had to evacuate until 11. I was sort of mad because we have to miss school and then we have to make it back up sometime in the rest of the school year, and it kind of sucks. And it's kind of scary too because there could really be a bomb in the school and it's supposed to be safe here.
With all the school shootings and stuff that have been going on, like a lot of my parents and stuff have been getting like, you know, like, well, I don't know if I want you to go to school anymore. And with this and with how the principal said that it was like a sort of a copycat bomb type thing from the Tabor shootings, that my mom, I don't know if like my parents will feel comfortable sending me to public school anymore. And that wouldn't be fun because my friends are here.
I was eating breakfast this morning in math class, waiting to get everything done when the announcement came on. It was saying there was apparently a bomb that was going to go off at 9:41, and it was a repeat of the Tabor shooting and the Colorado shooting, and we all had to be evacuated until 11, minimum. So I was put through kind of like a gun-type shooting in an old school, and it kind of scares me because, well, one, because I'm pregnant and don't really want the school to blow up or anything when I'm in it or something. So overall, it's just a major big fear of it actually happening. So
I was walking down the hall towards my classroom. As soon as I sat down in my classroom, the announcement said something about copycat of the Tabor shooting, and it's something about a bomb threat, and said everybody leave and be back at 11. All the teachers and everybody left. Then the cops and all them are up there too. I think it's fake. Every bomb threat that has ever been made here is just fake.
I was in English class and just getting my books out and stuff, and the announcement came on and they told us to evacuate the school, and it was something about the copy of the Tabor shooting or something. It should be safe, but I don't know. Just all the bomb threats in Colorado and stuff, so, and the shooting there. They said they can go in at 11 o'clock after they search the school and stuff.
I guess shortly after 8, between 8 and 8:30, they had a bomb threat at Selkirk School here, so they evacuated the school and brought the RCMP up in the fire department, and they're having a look through the building. As with every bomb threat, it's taken very seriously, so that's why the kids aren't allowed in here until they do a search of the school, and they're going to not take any chances at all. Throughout all the years, there's always been the odd bomb threat at a school, so it is just a little bit more profile because of the Tabor and the incident that happened in the States as well. So it's a real inconvenience for everybody, but it can't be taken lightly either.
This has happened, it's got to be 5 or 6 times in the past 2 years. It's especially a hardship for rural students because they can't just go home. Then they have to arrange transportation. They're probably downtown spending all their parents' money. Like, this is no good, right? So, and then think of the loss of education. What are they supposed to do when they come to college or university and they've missed all these days, you know? Then they're not getting the skills they're supposed to be getting. So I abhor this kind of nonsense.
We were notified from the police and fire department there was a bomb threat at Selkirk, and fire department requested us on standby in the event it is a reality. So we're just putting in our time here for that. I don't know any other details of it. I know majority are hoaxes, but we certainly wouldn't want a hoax to turn into a reality, that's for sure, and if it does, hopefully we're ready.
I think it's unfortunate there could be an incident somewhere else that the emergency crews are away, and I think it's gone too far. There's too many. Because it's happened 3 times already this year or 4 times already this year, I don't think it's a copycat. I just think it's some child being irresponsible and not thinking about what they're doing. I'm the president of the P.A.C Association as well, and an involved parent at the school, and I think it's really unfortunate that the kids are missing time at school, and that one of these times it could be real, and everyone's going to think it's a threat again, just a joke. So it's unfortunate. The kids lose out.
Mr. Oscarson said that someone was copying like the shootings in Tabor and Colorado, and there was a bomb threat and that we had to evacuate. We have so many bomb threats, it's pretty stupid now.
This evening is our annual family show. This is a show that the girls put on strictly for the people that they invite. It's their first show of the year, and it's 90% for the brand new girls to have a chance to show off before they hit the streets. This year we are booked solid every weekend from now until the middle of July. The last weekend in July, 2 in August and 3 in September, 1 in November and 1 in December. We perform this coming Saturday the opening ceremonies for the Cranbrook Children's Festival here in Mount Bakerfield. Of course, Sam Steele Days, we're in for the parade. We're out for Wassa Days, that's the end of this month. We'll be doing the auto show down at Canadian Tire in June 6th, I think it is. I'd have to check my calendar. And then whenever they call us, we pretty much go. The ladies are from 12 to 18 years of age. They all go to school in Cranbrook. That is one of our requirements, is that they have to be in school and that they're 12 years, because of the larger cities will not let you march, and their insurance doesn't cover unless you're 12 years old. It's open to anybody in the city that wishes to join. We do have an ongoing registration. They can come down and join band at any time.
The whole purpose of this meeting, Mike, is to get the truckers, the truck drivers, and the government regulators in the same room to rub shoulders and to try and work towards creating a nicer work environment for the transportation industry. And this is our third annual event, and it's been pretty successful, and this one looks as well like it's going to be successful. And it's kind of a neat opportunity to get government people, such as we have here today, with the kind of responsibilities that they have, to travel as far as they do to come and attend this workshop. So we're appreciative of that, and it looks like we're into another good one. Actually, there are a lot of regulations on the books that haven't been enforced, and that's another purpose of this meeting, is to try and make our truckers aware of what's coming down in the form of regulations, so that they don't get surprises when they're confronted with a situation where they may be out of compliance. So there's a lot to learn and a lot to keep learning about regulations and safety and responsibility and professionalism, and we hope we've got our foot going in the right direction and opening the door to that whole area of responsibility in transportation.
It was very informative, as it always has been, and I heard some really good concerns, of which I've written down actually too, and which I will be presenting to the minister. Yeah, some of the questions, of course, and some of the concerns have been ongoing now for the last couple of years that I'm aware of, and so I really do look for some resolution to these. Some of them, of course, that I share. I've heard of many of them out in the communities and throughout this region, and some of which we're in fact dealing with, and that is in rest places, rest areas, passing lanes, and some of those areas that we're trying to deal with around here. And as you heard, some of the challenges that the truckers face on highways, and that is, through our bridges and through our corners. So I'm really glad that we were able to actually work with some of those issues, and I hope to continue to work with some of the issues that we heard today. I think it's a great idea that we work in partnership between the industry, the truckers, and government to try to find some good workable solutions. Yes, the Bluffs is an area that has interested me for a long time. In my previous life also as a paramedic, going out to that area and understanding the challenges that not only the truckers face, but the traveling public also, and the local residents. And it's an area that needed work to be done. It's an area that needs the bluffs themselves, the roadway, to be realigned so that we can realize some safe travel, and so that we don't have to worry whenever people are traveling through there. So I'm looking forward right now. The design work will be started soon, within the next couple of months, and the design work will be taking place, and then hopefully we can have the actual construction being completed within the next year to two. So I'm really looking forward to this, as I know that the people in the area and in the community is looking forward to this, as are the truckers. And on speaking on some of the work, as I mentioned, there are bridges through the Elk Valley also. There were many concerns voiced with the bridges there. The passing of two semis on a bridge, very narrow, especially in the wintertime with snow buildup on both sides, and also trying to get by them, even just a traveling car, motor vehicle. So I'm really pleased that we're replacing 3 of the bridges right now, and the design is in place for the other 2, and for replacement also, hopefully in the near future. And I'll continue on trying to work towards these challenges that we face here, especially with the trucking industry in this region.
Well, there's tremendous growth in the BC bud, the hydroponic growing marijuana. Excellent market for it in the U.S. and the U.S. West Coast, and we're seeing a significant increase in the amount of it coming across the border, most of it between the ports of entry. But essentially, the further west you go, the more activity there is. Once you get in more closer into the population centers between Vancouver and Seattle and Point South. Generally, the ones that we've been getting in the neighborhood here have been in the Spokane paper and local newspapers. Beyond that, there hasn't been too much news interest in it. But it's been of interest to us.
this is the annual gathering of the Association of Kootenay and Boundary Municipalities. This is cities, towns, villages, and regional districts throughout East Kootenay, West Kootenay, and Boundary region. Gather for an annual business meeting. It's usually like the third weekend in April, and it moves across the region back and forth between the various communities. And this is like a subset, if you like, or a regional organization of the Union of BC Municipalities, which is our provincial organization. This is what they call an area association. And we're today in Creston. We're being hosted by the town of Creston, Mayor Lela Irvine and her staff and council, and we're here like on a Thursday night, a Friday, and on a Saturday morning to consider resolutions of interest to municipalities that'll move up through the food chain, if you like, to the UBCM and eventually get to the provincial government. And then there's speakers, both inspirational and kind of educational speakers on topics of interest to municipalities. This meeting typically is like a day and a half, and it's a pleasure to be here in Creston because it's just it's a nice community, and we have lots of friends here, and it's a particularly nice spring day here. We also have an opportunity to meet privately with provincial government officials, and today I met with Erda Walsh, our MLA, and talked about issues of mutual concern. And then Erda and I had arranged a meeting with the Honourable Jenni Kwan, Minister of Municipal Affairs. It was quite brief this morning, but I had two topics to talk to the Minister about. One of them is boundary expansion for the city of Cranbrook. We've been working on a boundary expansion program and policy for the last little while, and our boundaries are set by and approved by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, and the Minister and her staff have some control over those issues, so I was encouraging the Minister to continue that. We have some things in process. And the second issue that we spent some time talking about is airport expansion. We have a need to make an investment in the infrastructure in our part of the world, which will hold and process and accommodate the visitor industry. And one of the investments we have an opportunity to make is an expansion of the airport. And it's quite a complex issue, and there's a role for local government to play. That is, we own and operate the airport, but there are provincial monies and federal monies available to invest in transportation infrastructure, and I had a meeting this morning privately with the Minister to bring her up to speed on where we are, and she gave me a couple of suggestions about programs to which we might apply, and things to make sure we cover off when we're making application.
Well, essentially, I think what I'm hearing from the community here, the biggest issues are relating to the smaller communities. Infrastructure building is a very significant component for the local residents as well as the local governments. I'm also hearing a lot of boundary restructuring issues where there's a lot of conflict, and some of them are century-old conflict where people are looking for a resolution around that front. There are also some discussions as well in terms of overall regional district changes to the Municipal Act. We are, as you know, engaged in the process of reforming the Municipal Act, and the regional districts also want to make sure that their issues are tabled in that process.
A really big issue, and we spoke with the Minister of Municipal Affairs this morning and focused on one, and that is trying to convince the Union of British Columbia Municipalities to dialogue with the provincial government to come up with some kind of a more logical, fair and just formula for the property taxation portion of policing costs. When you hit 5,000 in BC today, your economy changes not one whit, and you are faced with about $700,000 minimum of policing costs, and you also lose your small communities grant. So we call it the double whammy, and that for us is certainly the biggest single issue that there is, and for many other municipalities our size in British Columbia, I should add.
Oh, people are talking about the relationship between municipalities and the province, the need for some way for municipalities to be able to solve more of their problems their own selves without having to appeal every issue to the provincial government, talking about tax cost sharing issues like municipalities desire share of gaming revenue, share of traffic tickets, different way of dividing up the taxes, talking about economic questions, which is most interesting to me. Like, for example, I was meeting with Kimberley, and they have a ski hill golf course plan, and it's really an evolution from a mining economy with the Sullivan mine closing down to a four-seasonal recreational economy, and it will be made easier if there's a bigger airport in Cranbrook. So there's a way that Kimberley and Cranbrook have something in common. Everybody here is just trying to talk about the evolution of the economy away from the sort of hewers and wood and haulers of water that we were 10 years ago to a more diversified economy, one that doesn't go up and down with the world commodity markets.
Right. Well, actually, I'm speaking here tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the financial implications of government policy for municipalities of all sizes, and of course there are fairly large sizes of municipalities represented here and quite small ones too. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think can be done to make the whole structure of government better, so that municipalities get a little bit of better break, and so that the taxpayer, who is after all the same person, municipally, provincially, and federally, gets a little better break and gets to talk to the people that have the money and get a little more.
Watching Shaw Cable 11, community television for Creston and the East Kootenays.